Have you ever heard yourself say, I wish I could just run this idea by someone? I just need a sounding board or another perspective. I wish I could anticipate if I make this move, what is the outcome going to be? Or why do I feel so stuck? Well, if you found yourself saying or feeling any of these things, it might be that you need a mentor. So today we're going to define what a mentor is and why you might need one, what the roles are they play, what they do and they don't do. Where can you find mentors? How much do they cost? And have you ever considered yourself becoming a mentor? I need a mentor. So let's see if you do too. Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to the No Brainers Empowering Possibilities show. These are dialogues of encouragement with fresh perspectives, invitations to ahas, a little bit of science, a dash of behavioral psychology, skills and tools you can use right now today, and a whole lot of creative fun. So if leveling up is on your radar, my friend, you are at the right show. I'm your host, Roseanne Marsh, the author of the teen and parent empowerment curriculum called Level Up, Empowering Possibilities. And you are listening to episode number 50. I need a mentor. If I were to put my own spin or my own definition around what a mentor is, I'd have to say it's someone who's already walked the path that I'm walking. They've already gone down that road where I am right now. They already have seen the detours, the roadblocks, where the road splits, where those possible sabotages are going to be. And they also know how to streamline the work, the finances, where to conserve, and how to shortcut the journey of where I'm headed. They also understand what it feels like to be living in that creation process or in that experience that I'm in. And they can understand what it's going to take to be able to achieve whatever that target is that I have. Having a mentor is kind of like, using a bowling analogy, those little soft bumpers that come up. Even though they don't save us from everything, it's that gentle guidance to get us into the direction that we need to go. Now, what do mentors not do? A mentor is someone who does not do the work for us, or someone who comes up with all of the answers for us. No one wants to mentor someone that they need to drag and nag. They want someone who's excited and already in the work. They're making efforts and they're willing to look at things from a different way and to put in the effort that it takes to move that needle in whatever direction it needs to go. Mentors are not babysitters. They are role models and they are coaches. They've already succeeded at something and they can guide and lead the way. And most successful people, they really don't mind sharing advice. They don't mind teaching people how to fish. Years ago, I was a regional supervisor for a teen clothing company. In fact, I actually spent 20 years of my life in that industry. But as a new supervisor, I became close friends with a more senior supervisor in one of the neighboring areas. And we made it a habit every Monday to hash over what had happened during the week, last week. The people things, the internal theft, the profit margin, how we need to move or reallocate goods. And I could see from the conversations that I was so lucky to have someone that I could glean from her years of experience that was far beyond what I had experienced at that point. As I grew in my position, I became a little more savvy about many things, particularly behavioral psychology when it comes to dealing with people. And I realized even more the opportunity to share back and forth as now my mind and my brain had become wrapped in this industry where I was at. We could see opportunities and different things that we wanted to bring in to our staffs to enrich their training and, bottom line, to enrich our work experience. Because if you're going to spend all those hours working, how can you progress and enjoy what you're doing? Well, that responsibility is ours, right? Or should I say, the opportunity is ours. Now, at the time, I hadn't really thought of her as my mentor, but as I look back on it now, I realize how much I depended on her the first little while to help me understand what was around the corner and how to prepare for what was coming up. So I'm so grateful that she was able to walk beside me in my experience. Even though most of our interactions were only on the phone, at that point in my life, I needed a mentor. So fast forward from that time when I went through a divorce and my children were elementary age. And although I felt very strong in many areas, I recognized that, wow, I needed to redefine my life. And I had some friends that were going to some classes and they brought me along. And I started learning from a gentleman who was teaching, the only way I can describe this, a holistic approach to neuropsychology. And as I learned from him, I thought, wow, this person gets life. And consequently, I signed up to mentor one-on-one with him. Now, this was my first experience of working with a mentor where there was like an agenda and check-ins and defined goals and accountability. And you know what? It was the exact structure that I needed during a time when I felt like my whole life had been deconstructed. So how grateful I am that I had that personalized time with him once a month. But then I joined other classes to fill in and get other ideas that could change, edify, and enrich my life. At that time in my life, I needed a mentor. Now, I just described two different kinds of mentors in my life. One was a peer that had more experience, and our mentorship was free and reciprocal in nature. And one was a specific mentor that I paid for their services and advice. Well, I guess I should say I invested to be able to have that one-on-one time with someone who could just literally get into the trenches of where my life was and help me see the possibilities and help me get to the place where I knew what the next right steps were. I needed a mentor. I needed a coach, someone who helped me break through where I currently was and get me to that next level. And then when I got to that next level, they were able to tell me what I was going to come up against and realize that that's not the place to stop. That's just normal. And here's the strategies now on how you're going to make it through that. Now, I want you to look at the different areas in your life right now. There's different kinds of mentors out there. There are people who mentor in nutrition and physical health and emotional needs and financial, marketing, HR concerns, relationships, learning to cook, preparing nutritious meals, feng shui, spiritual coaches, even dating coaches. And the list goes on and on. But you don't have to have a mentor in every part of your life. But maybe there's just one particular area where you're thinking, ooh, if I could just have that extra nudge, that extra perspective, that extra support, that's where I want to concentrate that in my life. Now think about your life right now. Where would you love to have help? Now fill in the blank. I need a mentor. Fill in the blank. It could be, I need a mentor for, fill in the blank. I need a mentor because, fill in the blank. I need a mentor to accomplish, fill in the blank. Now, come on, seriously, right now, think about your life and declare, I could use a mentor for this. Now, I'm wanting you to declare right now because there is a specific reason, and I'm going to explain that to you in just a minute. Let's address where you can find mentors and what they may look like. Let's start with the easiest of access. You know, they don't necessarily have to be flesh and blood person that you interact with. It can be as close as a book. So here are those great people that you can learn from. Reading about those that have accomplished in their life can teach us so much, especially when we get to see their failures and what they did to get past them. Reading has that capacity to stretch our brains and exposes us to new ideas, understand new concepts. And the cost is only the cost of a book or the cost of an audio program, or quite literally, it's a trip to the library. So don't underestimate the power of mentorship that comes from reading about the life experiences of some of the greats of the past. Now, some of my favorites: Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, Mahatma Gandhi, Isaac Newton, George Washington. And there's so many more in history that we can study. And interestingly enough, every one of them had mentors also. They had those that significantly influenced them. And they searched out and were open to learning from others. We have a dear neighbor that was 19 when he passed away from a brain tumor. But prior to him passing away, when I was in conversation with him, he said, you know, there's a book that I've read 5 times, and it's made such an impact on my life. It's given me the courage and the insight to be able to go through what I'm going through. The book was called The Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World. And that was written by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. I've purchased that book a couple times and gifted it. So many insights to life. Others that I love studying their life: Nikola Tesla and Walt Disney, just to name a few. Now, if you said, I need a mentor, what do you think? Who are the greats of the past that you could learn about and study their life? And don't forget, there's the entrepreneurs and the successfuls that are currently out there right now. So who are those thought leaders that inspire you to become better because of what they're teaching and what they're espousing? Whether it be the social, emotional realm, the spiritual realm, the holistic, the cohesive, physical, mind, body, heart, soul, business worlds, investing world. Oh my gosh, there's just so many things out there that we can mentor in through the virtual access, but it can be almost overwhelming. But when we discern and ask that question, I want a mentor for, or I need a mentor because, we can start to streamline and hone in on who we want to learn from and where our time should be spent. We have a limited source of time. And if we're serious about achieving and doing, who are the greats that we want to learn from? Who are those that we want to immerse our time in, our energy, our emotions? Who are the ones that we want to learn about their thoughts, their beliefs, their actions, and their achievements? So as we study the greats, most of them were avid learners. They read, and they learned so that they could continue to progress. So we can really use them as an example. Are we dedicating a small portion of our day to be able to read something so that we too can continue to grow and progress? So that's the informational gathering route. We can do a mentorship right from our home. But now the next kind of mentor is one that you can meet with them on a video platform, but you're meeting with them in person. Or maybe you're lucky enough to be in the physical presence of that person, being one-on-one with someone who's now in your trenches and helping guide you. So there's tons of coaches out there, and there's tons of specialists. But there's also people who are very successful in their fields that may even for free help you succeed. But finding a person means cultivating a relationship. And most successful people mentor those they know, not necessarily strangers that show up on the street. So if you want to get closer to someone, maybe it's even volunteering to be part of their organization for free, just to be able to step into their creative space and learn from them. The other way is finding someone who you can pay for their services to sit down with on a regular basis. And the beauty behind this is there's that accountability piece. I need a mentor. So here are the advantages of great mentors that I've put together. And this is based on the experiences that I've had from others. A great mentor has an objective mind, and they are clear on what you want. And if you're not clear, they have that ability to ask those great questions to help you get to the point where you find out what you really want to achieve. And I think that's one of the virtues of great mentors is they ask incredible questions. So instead of feeding you all the answers, they ask these great questions that help you come up with the ahas and the answers. And this serves for 2 purposes. One, it engages your brain in that process so you have more buy-in when coming up with deductions and steps. And accountability and conviction, right? But it also allows the mentor to see what your thought process is. When a mentor is able to ask lots of questions to get you to respond, and maybe they ask the same kind of question in different ways to really dig in there, they can get a discernment of what are your subconscious hangups. And there might be things that are getting in your way that has nothing to do with your skill level, but has everything to do with your mental resilience, your emotional and your mental state. So we all have those self-imposed roadblocks, and a great mentor is one that can help find them. A great mentor helps you envision a path forward and what that would look like. And then having envisioned the strategy, helping you break down the steps of how to make that work. And then if you were living that envisioned goal, how would you behave on a daily basis as if that was your reality? A great mentor has already gone through struggles, and they've already made mistakes, and they can kind of give you a lookout for what could happen. They quite possibly have a network of people that they can introduce you to, or maybe they could even introduce you to another career path that's related, but something you didn't even know existed. A great mentor can help save you dollars because they guide you where you should and should not invest in your business, and they help get you up and running faster than when you just learn on your own. A great mentor serves as inspiration and motivation, and emotionally can get you back on the road again when failures and thoughts want to drag you down, and they will invariably find you those thoughts and those obstacles. A great mentor will push you to learn, and don't be surprised if they give you a reading assignment, right? But they want you to expand you from where you're at. And a great mentor can be objective. They can call you out, and they can tell you whether or not you're going to be successful or not, because they can see what kind of traction you have and what kind of investment you have in your dream. So when I told you what a mentor can do, great mentors, what were some of those things on the list that you thought, oh, wow, I absolutely need that in my life? So what do mentors cost? Well, it really varies, right? We talked about the free access to learning, but we can also join communities that have to do with whatever it is we're trying to achieve, and support groups that focus on learning together. Learning from a group in a community, their collective experience is invaluable, and there may be somebody in there that's already further down the road than you are. So that's one form of mentoring. Or joining group mentoring, where there is a cost for taking courses or classes, is a lot less than that one-on-one, and that may be more affordable. One-on-one mentoring can be very expensive. Hiring a coach can be an hourly rate, or it can be thousands of dollars per hour. And of course, the most successful, the numbers would probably be so astronomical, we wouldn't even be able to guess. But here's the amazing thing. Remember, I asked you to declare, I need a mentor for. When you put out there, when you put into the universe, I need a mentor because, or I need to mentor that. When you put that energy out there to the universe, the teachers are going to come out. When you're ready for one, the teachers will come out. And it may look different than what you expected, but be open to whatever comes into your life. The mentors come out, and the help is provided when you're sincere, when you're humble, when you're doing your work. So can we talk a little bit about the science of what I just talked about? You might be saying, Roseanne, you can't guarantee that a mentor will be there for me. Well, first of all, you put in the effort, learn from those books, online videos, whatever, educate yourself and be engaged in what your goal is. Remember, motion begets motion. So the universe can't steer a parked car, but reading about something is not just the same as reading, learning, applying, and trying, right? But inside your brain is a thing called the reticular activating system, and it pays attention to things. That's why when you're in a crowded room and someone says your name, you turn because you hear that, because you have taught your brain that that is important to me. Well, if finding a mentor is important to you and you put that out with emotion, the universe pays attention to it because it's the magnetic frequency of science. What you put out with emotion has an energy level to it that brings things in. It's like a magnet, it comes in. So if you want to mentor, put it out there frequently and with lots of emotion. Imagine what the world would look like if everyone who needed a mentor had someone accessible, whether it was that more advanced peer in their industry, a community that provided answers. But imagine if everyone who needed a mentor had someone to be able to reach out and help them. Imagine what that would do to elevate the community you live in. Imagine what that would do to elevate the world. Communities are begging for people with expertise that could help. So I wanted you to ask yourself, what area of expertise have you mastered that then you know that you could reach behind and help someone else through the struggles that you went through, circumventing them, shortcutting them, and helping them succeed? How could you offer your services? What kind of a mentor could you be? So that when someone listening to the show says, I want to mentor that, ... you may be the someone to answer that call. Well, I have something for you. My business is a business of changing lives. It's a business of empowering teens and adults to be able to maneuver through these difficult emotional times, to get them back on course, to get them into their dreams and reawaken their imagination and step them into empowerment in their lives. And here's the beauty. I train the mentors. I train the facilitators. And you may think, wait, I don't have experience teaching empowerment. But if you've had success in your life, if you know what it's like to work hard, if you have a desire to learn and improve your own life, then stepping into learning how to be a facilitator, a mentor, can be one of the most powerful things you've ever done. Maybe you become a mentor over your children. Maybe you have a group of teens or a group of adults. Many of my facilitators teach a group of teens and they teach a group of parents, because there's power in knowing the same skills. So if you want to learn how to teach others to master their brain, their thought process, their emotions, their words, understanding the role of fear in their life, setbacks, healing the hard things in the subconscious, and stepping out and creating a blueprint in their life and bringing it down in the here and now, then Level Up wants you as a mentor. So check our website, because we have training dates coming up. We train you. We let you experience what transformation feels like so that you can turn around and give that to someone else. There's nothing more valuable than changing a life for the better. So to learn more, you can go to levelupteam.com/learn more, or ask your questions at info@levelupteam.com. You can make the difference in the life of a teen, and Level Up could make a difference in your life. I need a mentor who wants to make a difference. That mentor could be you. As always, we're creators. We create what we want in our life. Thank you for joining the show. Don't forget to offer to the universe that you need a mentor, and then watch for the miracles that happen in your life. We'll see you next week. Tally ho.